Hi folks, Tyler Capozzi here today with the Nanlite PavoTube 30C. This has been by far my favorite light I've ever used. Where these lights really shine is how dynamic they are and the infinite number of uses that they have. In fact, this scene is being lit exclusively by PavoTubes. I've actually used them on every shoot that I've had since I got them just a few short months ago. So far I've used them as rim lights, practical lights, background lights to splash some color onto the background, and I was even able to better light a green screen using the RGB capabilities by selecting green for my color and flooding the entire green screen with more green, making for a very easy key. These are also great for run and gun situations, not just because of their features, but they're also fairly durable. Convenience is also a big factor because setup time is so minimal. In addition to the 4-foot model, Nanlite does also make a few other smaller sizes, such as the 10-inch and the 2-foot versions, which are better suited for things like product shots, macro shots, food, jewelry, and things where your subject is much smaller. As far as functionality, the color temperature ranges from 2700 to 6500 Kelvin, and there is a full RGB spectrum that allows you to control the hue as well, which is basically how saturated the light is. There are a handful of special effects, such as candlelight, lightning, which is manually triggered, and police car. But I've not really had a use for any of these yet. Their estimated runtime at 2 hours from a full charge is pretty much on par with what I've been getting, and there's also a cable that you can use to daisy chain the lights together, so that way they're synced, but it's not very long and I haven't really had a big need for that yet either. The other place that these lights really shine is the limitless mounting solutions and possibilities. You can put these things anywhere. The light comes with a 1/4-20 clamp, which does get the job done, but it does have its drawbacks. Although it's nearly invisible, I'm still not a fan of the translucent clamp showing up if you use this as a practical light on camera. The other issue is that you're limited in the light can only sit horizontally. You can solve this with the right light stand by getting one where you insert the spigot horizontally, but you still have to have the light clamp perfectly centered, or it could rotate itself loose. My preferred light stand mount is the T12 single LED tube holder with a 5/8 receiver. This fits on any light stand and can be mounted vertically or horizontally and can be rotated 360 degrees on each axis, making it a much better option. Pair this mount with a swivel pin and you now can get any angle you want. If you get yourself some magnetic bases with 1/4-20 studs, you can pair them to the factory clamp mount and stick the light to any metal or magnetic surface. I did trim down the studs on my magnets with a Dremel because they were a little bit long, so that way there wasn't any excess. But these magnets are super strong and I have full confidence in their strength. If you don't have any magnetic surfaces, don't worry. Get yourself some sticky gel pads and you can now stick the light to any surface. But do be warned, these are incredibly sticky and they can peel paint off. If they get covered with dirt or dust, just wash them with some soap and they're good as new. There are plenty of other mounting solutions out there, but these are just some of the options that I've used so far. There are also a number of modifiers for these light tubes, but Nanlite does make a set of collapsible barn doors that I think are critical when it comes to controlling light spill. Naturally, these lights are extremely soft and flood light everywhere, so if you want control over your scene, the barn doors are a great place to start. They have full articulation, and there is also an included honeycomb grid to further reduce the beam angle. However, they are pretty pricey at $89 for all the more they are. There are DIY options out there, but I wanted something that was portable and collapsible, which is why I went with these. As great as the Nanlite PavoTubes are, they do have a few quirks and problems. The barn doors are great for controlling spill, but the clamp does cover up the LCD screen, making adjustments impossible without removing the clamp. So it's very inconvenient, but once you set it, you can leave it and forget it. There's also no battery life indicator without going into the menu, which does only take a few seconds, but it's still kind of inconvenient. There isn't a charging progress indicator either. There's only a tiny sliver of little red light that just barely peeks through the end of the tube to indicate that it's charging. And if you get the 4-light kit, it only comes with 2 chargers. And if you get the 2-light kit, it just comes with 1 charger. But there is a splitter. So you can power 2 lights off of 1 charger, but they have to be right next to each other since the splitter isn't that long at all. I've also noticed the cycling RGB mode isn't very smooth and does tend to jump and almost flicker out of the transition from the color red. I would also love if there was some sort of dial lock, so if you accidentally touch one of the knobs, it doesn't change your settings. But that's really about it for issues. Some of these are a bit nitpicky, but I'd still buy these lights again knowing about these minor pitfalls and have found them to be very much much worth the cost. Currently, the PavoTube 30C runs $299 for one, $559 for two, or $10.99 for four. I got the 4-light kit because you're paying less per tube and definitely had a use for all four. If you look at some of the comparable competition such as Hysteria, Quasar, or Digital Photo, you're paying about the same or significantly more for a similar end product. I hope you found this review valuable since it covers a lot of the things that I was wondering about before I bought these lights. Links for everything that I mentioned in this video are below in the description. Do feel free to leave me any comments or questions below. I do read every single one. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.